Hey guys, I hope you're having a great start to your Thursday. I'm going to be giving you your writing lesson through this video today. I know it's very exciting. So today we're going to be talking about using stories as evidence as you guys begin to start writing and drafting your papers, your literary essays. Okay? So your notebooks have all these ideas about the characters in your story. But just like you did with your personal essays, you're going to have to go through and see if you can find one idea, one big idea that you're going to write your essay about. What are these ideas about your character that continue to come up that you're noticing create this pattern? What's the big theme? What is the most important thing that you feel like needs to be talked about when it comes to your character? Okay, so we're trying to figure out what's that seed idea, what's your thesis? What do you think about the character in your story? Why is this feeling you have so important that you need to write an essay about it? Okay? So if we look back on what we've been doing as we write personal and persuasive essays, we kind of have this list of things you need to do. You're growing your ideas and you're using these thought prompts. We know we have the poster at the side of the room that's giving us those ways to push our thinking. Asking questions as we read and paying attention to characters. We did a lot of this before the break, talking about their traits and motivations and their struggles, right? What are you noticing about your character as you read along in your story? What's a big idea that's important to you? That's what we've been focusing on now. What is your thesis? Okay? What is the main thing? What's the main idea that you are really focused on when it comes to reading your story? We have to ask these questions to test our thesis. Does this opinion relate to more than one part of the text? Can I take this thesis statement and apply it to each part of my text? Or is it really only something that's for one section? Because we want to make sure that we have enough evidence to support our ideas. Is there enough text? Is there enough quotes? Is there enough going on throughout the entire story where you can in turn write a 5-paragraph essay about this? Okay, so today we're going to be talking about that collection of evidence. Those little tiny micro stories of thinking. We've done this already in our personal and persuasive. We are still in that world of opinion writing. You should still be using your original opinion rubrics to focus in on this. So today we are learning to provide evidence for an idea that supports our thesis so we can write well about our reading. Okay? We have our thesis. We're working on getting that evidence to prove it. Why do you think Thor is whatever it may be? Why do you feel Paul Bunyan is, or Persephone? Why do you feel the way you feel? What has happened in your story to prove this thinking? So you want to angle your story to make a point. After you present your thesis, you need proof. You need to prove that what you believe is true. Okay? Repeat the point you make. As you start writing your essay, as you start working through your work, keep repeating what your idea is. And use those terms from the text, right? Especially for those of you reading Thor, there's a lot of very specific vocabulary that you can put into your writing. Mention what the character does or does not do, okay? What have the character's actions done to prove your point right or wrong or whatever it may be? And repeat key words from that big idea often, okay? So you are working on drafting these ideas. Nothing is finalized yet. But I need you to start thinking about your thesis and how you can prove it to be right. What are little pieces from your story that are going to help you prove this point? So let's think about this when it comes to our story Fox. Okay? So we have a lot of ideas about Fox, and I remember we even read it and we all came up with some very specific and particular ideas about Fox. So we could read and I could have this idea in mind that the fox is lonely. Okay, so we read it in the past and we noticed that Fox was kind of watching them, and we noticed that Fox was doing a lot to really make sure that he was, I guess you could say he was kind of bothering Magpie and Dog, right? So I could say, oh, well, Fox is lonely, but is that something that is going to happen through the whole story? No. If we recall, we don't meet Fox till the end of the story. So you really need to think about, does my thesis make sense? So now I'm looking back and I'm thinking, well, I'm gonna have to think about dog or magpie. And to be honest, I think magpie is a little like ungrateful. Like dog did all this stuff for her and she just like couldn't see throughout the whole story all the things dog was doing for her. So now I need to find evidence to show that my thesis, my idea about the story Fox is that magpie is ungrateful. So as I go through this story, I'm thinking back to what I've read. I have all of these notes on the story. And what really kind of points out to me is when she complained right at the beginning. She was kind of complaining about how she like doesn't have anything and yada yada yada. So even on this page it says, "I'll never be able to fly," she whispers. "I know," says dog. He's silent for a moment, then he says, "I'm blind in one eye, but life is still good." Right then and there. That's a great point. I could quote that and put that in my essay and say, in the story Fox, this is sad. This proves magpie is ungrateful because dog is also missing things and he sees the bright side. Yet magpie finds a way to still complain and not be grateful that she still has another wing, right? So how can we prove it? What evidence from the story proves your thinking? That is what you're going to be focusing on in your notebooks today. You are not typing yet. You are collecting stories, pieces of your text that support your thesis, your idea about the story, okay? You have to have at least, that means minimum, you can have more. You need to have at least 3 mini stories ready by the end of writing today. So if you think, for example, that Thor is self-centered, right? I need 3 little pieces from the story. You need to make sure that you are including what that piece is, whether it's directly quoting it or summarizing that. And then you need to push your thinking by adding on why it caused you to believe and create the thesis that you did. Okay? So you are working on this today. You're working on this independently. You need to have your opinion writing rubrics out so you recall your expectations as you go on. It's also going to be important for your guest teacher so that they are aware of what you are working towards and can help you. Okay? You are not working on this with anybody else. This is your writing. There is no need to sit on the carpet with 5 other people and be talking, especially if you're not all working on the same thing. All right? You really need to focus on this because by the end of the next week, you're going to have enough to have your full piece ready to go. Okay? So I hope you're going to continue to have a good day and keep making good choices. And if not, I hope you make some changes. And you will see me tomorrow on another writing video. Have a good day.